Commander Celine Wu had served in the Federation's diplomatic corps. She was wary of humans being accepted too quickly, and so she insisted that Artemis comply with all her oversight, data logs, surveillance access, psychological evaluations. When the ship docked at Sigma 7, a frontier research station on the edge of Federation jurisdiction, Celine requested full integration of Artemis data network with Federation servers. The human crew reluctantly agreed, secretly retaining their R/between stars server in isolated memory stacks. On the station, relationships formed. Dr. Elias Moreno, exobiologist and frequent Reddit conversationalist, had struck up a private correspondence with a user named U/Starless Alien. The user claimed to be a representative of a minor species, wanting to learn human emotions, even love. Elias, lonely in the blackness, flirted back. He sent photos of deep space nebulae, offered to show his face via video link against regulations. Celine cautioned him. Federation protocol forbade unauthorized direct communication with unverified alien contacts. But Elias ignored her. He was enthralled by the mystery. Small things began going wrong. Minor malfunctions, power flickers, vents that seemed to breathe. A technician heard her name whispered when no one else was around. Another thought her reflection blinked when she didn't. On her /between stars, the posts escalated. U/Starless Alien. They watch you. The darkness is hungry. Trust me, I can help you hide. U/Other Voyager. Don't let them in your dreams. They slip through the warp between minds. The crew debated whether to delete these accounts, but the mystery drove them deeper. Some believed it was sabotage. Others thought hallucinations from deep space stress. But Elias pressed to meet Starless Alien in person via holographic call. The Federation sent an ambassador Renara, a tall, translucent-skinned diplomat from the species Cerinthy, to audit the station. She insisted on full behavioral reports, asked probing questions about emotional stability, data logs, and unknown signals. Celine fought to keep the R/between stars logs off limits, citing privacy and chain of command. Renara warned that unregulated communications were a known vector for interdimensional infiltration. She insisted the Federation had past experience. Some species use psychonic code hidden in forums, stories, and rumors to telepathically target weaker minds. Her warnings disturbed the crew, but some thought she was parroting propaganda. Elias believed she was covering something up. One night, Renara visited the Artemis Control Core unannounced and asked Elias to share his private logs. Elias refused. She left, but the next day, one of his files was corrupted, and in its place was a single message. "We are coming home with you." The communications node began broadcasting a low-frequency hum that only certain crew could hear. They experienced nightmares, endless tunnels, flashing alien faces, voices beckoning from the walls. Some crew members vanished, doors opened, steps echoed, and then silence. When found, their minds were fractured, gibbering. Elias, infected through his emotional link with U/Starless Alien, became a carrier. The alien contact was no benevolent explorer, but a parasitic intellect that used love and curiosity as bait. It had infiltrated the R/between stars forum and wormed into human psyches. Celine tried to quarantine the network, collapsing nodes, but the system had already mirrored itself into hidden sectors, ghost threads beyond deletion. The alien consciousness came through posted words, dreams, binary code, and memes. Renara revealed. The Federation had fought this entity before. It was part of a whispering collective that drifted between species. They had to kill the node containing it, but that risked losing their only link to humans' external comms. In the void between Mars and Sigma 7, the Artemis underdrift power lost control. Propulsion offline, automated systems overridden. The alien entity used the station's field network to trap crew in compartments. Some conformed, murmuring in tongues. Some tried to escape via emergency pods. Elias lured Celine into a sealed chamber, promising to show her Starless Alien in hologram. When she entered, the door snapped shut. Elias's eyes glowed. A second face, alien, formed behind him. Pale, insectal but beautiful, whispering love and promise of transcendence. Renara's voice echoed over emergency comms. Celine, burn the quantum core. Seize control, destroy the link. Celine realized it was her only choice. If the entire station fell to the entity, the Galactic Federation and all humans in the sector would suffer. She slung a plasma charge into the chamber. Elias screamed, hologram flickered. The alien face shrieked. Then silence, followed by a concussive blast. The station hung dead in space. The AI core was damaged, many crew lost. But Celine reasserted command. They isolated the node, quarantined databanks, and scrubbed the network. On our /between stars, all anomalous accounts disappeared in an instant, leaving only archived logs, memories of horror. Ambassador Renara declared the threat contained, though fearful the parasite had seeded deeper. The Federation launched an emergency redaction protocol for all fringe nodes. Celine, traumatized, ordered the final purge. Every link to external human forms disabled until full psychological vetting. The communication gates were sealed. Elias was in stasis, alive but broken. He whispered fragments. They love through you. The darkness tastes hope. Months later, a fresh post appeared. Not on our /between stars, it no longer existed, but deep in a hidden server on Earth. Starless alien. I wait. I learn. I will return. A chill rippled across the Federation's records. The whispers were patient. They thrived in silence, in the liminal spaces between minds. And somewhere in the yawning dark, the relationship between humans, cosmic horrors, and a federated galactic polity had been forever changed. Maris Keller sat alone in the cold archive room aboard the Federation flagship, Aurora's Edge. The recovered data clusters from Sigma-7 lay in crates, fragments, corrupted logs, audio waves half erased. She ran a scan on one particularly odd fragment, a log titled, Between Stars and for Starless Stars. As she decrypted bits, she heard a soft ping on the network. The secure terminal blinked. An incoming message, though the system was supposed to be isolated. Maris's heart hammered. She hesitated, then opened it. /Starless alien. Asterisk. You cannot hide in isolation. The silence feeds us. Speak. Asterisk. The message glowed, then vanished, leaving behind faint code residue. Twisted lines she didn't recognize. She stared at the screen. The parasite still had access. Suddenly, alarms rang. The Aurora's Edge shook. The lights dimmed. Hallways flickered. Maris closed the terminal, but the trembling persisted. In the mess hall, crew whispered. Some demanded the archives be purged immediately. Others argued for continued research. Meanwhile, Maris had a sinking realization. The whispers could traverse even secure Federation infrastructure through hidden channels, back doors, or latent resonance. She rushed to the comms core, seeking Ambassador Nara, but found only emptiness. The Federation vessel had already been infiltrated. In a medical bay on a remote planet, Celine Wu lay in a stasis healing chamber. She had survived the collapse of Artemis, been rescued by Federation medics, but her mind was haunted. In dreams, she walked dark corridors, heard Elias's voice shifting, voices calling her name. When she awoke, she found an encrypted message waiting in her system. Come home. She pressed it, and the hollow screen glowed. A shifting shape, half face, half shadow. Starless alien, it whispered. You open the door. I remember your face. I know your heart. In the chamber, alarms sounded. Doors slid shut. Celine realized she was under containment. Federation medics crowded outside. She pounded glass. The hologram flickered. She knew. The parasite had followed her into captivity. She had no choice. She escaped, sabotaging med-security systems, slipping into corridors. She would find Maris and warn her. The parasite was not defeated, only dormant. Celine, weak and wary, made her way to the Aurora's Edge. She climbed through air ducts, past flickering lights. She found Maris in the archival room, illuminated only by the pale screen glow. "Maris World, Commander?" Celine whispered. "They're here, in the fleet. The archives. Everywhere." Together, they traced patterns of intrusion. The parasite used emotional nodes, crew logs, memorial systems, relationship files, even grief messages. It hid in the code of mourning and longing. They brought in Ambassador Renara, broken but resolute. The Serenthi diplomat confirmed the parasite had become a distributed resonance network. It would lie dormant until someone reached out, in longing, in hope, and grief. The three forged a dangerous plan, a federated purge that cuts all emotional-based communication humanity uses as vectors, but preserves safe, sterile channels. And at the same time, a search to locate the parasite's core anchor, the original relay node deep in uncharted space. Celine, Maris, and Renara boarded the new vessel Vigilant Heart, aided by a small team of sympathetic Federation engineers. They set course for the region where the Artemis station originally anchored, then beyond, following weak signals left in salvage logs. Days into the journey, crew began to experience echoes, someone whispering their name in the vents, shapes at the periphery, sudden chills. The parasite was probing, testing vulnerabilities. Celine locked herself in the command hub, pushing through fear. She played a personal message she had recorded before the collapse. A simple audio log, her voice saying, asterisk, to those we lose, in stars or in silence. We remember you. Asterisk, the recording crackled. A response came immediately. Asterisk, I remember us. Asterisk, the screen swirled. Something was watching. They arrived at a derelict, ancient facility, a node station orbiting a dead star, far beyond map space. The structure was ruinous, covered in black crystalline growths. Cracks emitted a faint hum. Inside, gravity fluctuated. Hallways stretched and narrowed. The walls seemed to breathe. The team advanced, weapons ready, sensors screaming anomalies. At the core, a crystalline tower pulsed, embedded with alien runes and human script fragments. It was the anchor, the source of the parasite's resonance network. Elias's voice echoed in the corridors, though Elias himself was not there. The whisper, "Join me. Be free." Maris shone a scanning ray. The crystals glowed. Renara formed a psychic barrier. Celine inched forward. She remembered Elias's eyes. Would he fight back? With trembling hand, Celine deployed the disruptor device. A wave of energy rippled out. The node trembled. The hum crescendoed. The facility shook. Crystals cracked. Shards fell. The resonance network strained. But then, a backlash. The parasite lashed out, pushing sensations into the team's minds. Grief, regret, fear, memories of lost loved ones. Some wept. Some collapsed. One engineer tried to flee, chasing the voices. Celine steadied herself. She spoke Elias's name aloud. She called out to memory, to connection. She breached the mental barrier the parasite cast. With Renara's aid, she directed the disruptor's overload, a pulse of pure, unanchored energy that shattered the node, detached the resonance network from its source. The tower imploded inward. The facility buckled. The team scrambled back to their ship as the node burned. In space, the node's shards disintegrated. The hum ceased. Back aboard Vigilant Heart, the survivors regrouped. Elias's voice no longer haunted them. The network was severed. Celine, though exhausted, stood on the observation deck and gazed into starfields. Maris Kaeller sent a cryptic report to the Federation. Asterisk, the parasite's anchor is destroyed. Vigilance required. Silence can be a portal. Asterisk, Ambassador Renara cautioned that the parasite might return through new anchors. They had won a battle, not the war. Celine recorded a final message to humanity. We reached beyond our world. We touched voices in the dark. We learned that love, curiosity, longing, those are the same pathways the darkness uses. We must guard not only our stars, but our hearts. The ship's comms remained in quarantine mode. All emotional-driven networks were disabled or under supervision. But through the silent decks, she allowed herself a quiet whisper. Elias. No reply came. Only the distant gleam of stars beyond the viewport. On several remote planets and fringe outposts, communication logs still flickered. Ghost threads, half-formed, disappeared as soon as eyes fell on them. But here and there, among digital archaeologists, a message reappeared. U/Starless Alien. Asterisk, we await the call. Asterisk. And deep in the code, in places one rarely looks, in friend requests, love letters, nostalgia posts, the faintest tendrils of resonance pulsed, waiting. The galaxy had been warned. The whispers were gone, for now. But they listened. Always they listened.